Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Back with Vincent. Got a cool little video today. Initially, we were just going to chat about Corsi, a little bit and the gold targets that Goldspot found there. But we'll be mixing in another recent press release with Granite Creek as well. But first things first, Vincent, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me again here on the show.
Awesome, awesome. Glad to have you. Well, here, I guess we'll do it, kind of go in the right timeline. Corsi first. You guys announced you found a bunch of targets for them. I think, if I recall, six high priority targets. Curious, we got a few questions, and I'll let you kind of explain the press release as well. But we did get a bunch of questions about what makes something a high priority target versus something that's kind of moderate. Of course, seems like it might be self-explanatory, but would love to hear it from you.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's just go back to the beginning here. We started our work with Stelmine at the Corsi project almost over a year ago now. We were in discussion with them for some times, and we decided to go work and jump in and work with them. So how do we came up with these targets? Well, it's really from interpreting the data that they provided us using the different tools we developed. So some machine learning tools we developed for the geophysics, others for the geochemistry, and as well as structural interpretation. So taking all those together, where we came up with a heat map. So this heat map really gave us areas that our algorithm thought it was interesting to go explore. So really from there, how we classify those targets. So it just gives us a maps from zeros to one. It's what the tools gave us, but really it's after that, it's when we take our geological knowledge of the area and really putting that together with the prospectivity map we created helps us to rank those targets. So a high priority target is something we're really confident on, and we would put a drill bit right there. Something that's ready to drill, ready to go. We're just waiting for the snow to melt, and they can send the drills over there. A moderate target would be something that requires some more exploration around it, just to make sure the information we had is reliable and make sure it's good quality as well, and to explore a bit more. So exploring could be doing some trenches, doing some additional sampling before we put the drill hole there.
Got it.
Same process goes towards the lower priorities, where it's more open target, IDs, something that could be high potential, but there's not enough knowledge for us to really jump into it.
Yeah, no, got it. Hey, pretty self-explanatory. That's awesome. Curious, we were getting questions around, hey, six high priority targets. Is that a lot compared to other, clients of yours, other things you guys have seen? What's your feeling with this project?
Yeah, well, for this project, I think the six high priorities is really good number for, especially a project at this stage, where there's a couple drill holes that have been there in the past, but not so much. So really having six targets for something this size is really important, and also the really interesting thing about it is those targets are not where drilling has already happened. It's also where new information have been collected and new ideas we came up with our tools. So something really with high potential that could change a game there.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Well, I think that's a pretty good highlight. Anything else you wanted to mention, and either about the Corsi project or about this heat map, and if you want to maybe even describe it a little bit of what people are seeing, up to you.
Well, on this heat map, what we have, so we really see the bright yellow is what our algorithm predicted as area of interest or area where we want to go explore. And on it, we overlaid also the white lines would be the different structural interpretation that our tools came up, but also our geologists came up with. So while intersecting those high priority targets with the structural interpretations together, we're able to zoom in and zone in on some areas that would be of higher interest into it. So when we created the algorithm or the tools for it, we didn't incorporate those structures to it. We use only the geophysical data, so the raw images of that has been collected over the area, as well as some geochemical information that were collected through it. So those geochemical information, concentration of various elements throughout the properties. So combining those two together, the geophysics, the geology, as well as the geochemistry, this is how we came up with this heat map. Well, our algorithm came up with this heat map, combining those with the structures that we identified, and as well as Telmine, the Corsi team identified, we're able to zone in and zoom on some of those better areas.
Incredibly interesting. I know we're gonna get a ton of questions,
This
but
is really
obviously,
technical, yes.
no, but it's awesome. I think Photo does a great job. You do a great job explaining it as well. So thanks for that. So on one side, obviously, with Corsi, hey, you guys found some targets, and now, hey, here's a new client. So Granite Creek, getting tons of questions more around how you guys are working with them. A lot of people asking, did you find them? Did they find you? Where does this list from one of your favorites to a client you hate? So that's a lot of questions we've been getting. I'd love if you could shed some light on some of that stuff.
Yeah, Granite Creek is an interesting project as well. So we've been working not with Granite Creek, especially for the past, but with Group 10 Metals, and as well as Metallic Minerals. So those are two companies part of the, I think it's Metallic Group. So same kind of owners and managers of the different of those three companies. So we've been working with them for a while. It's a really good team. The geologists there are excellent. The management team is great. And we are confident on the quality of the project. We've been working, as I said previously, with Group 10 Metals. The ticker is PGE, on their Stillwater project in the United States. So excellent project over there. And following the same train of thoughts, we contacted Granite Creek to see if we can bring our methodology that they know we developed and used on their other projects, bring it over there on a different type of deposit, but again, same type of methodology.
Interesting. So I know we can't get into too much financial stuff, but curious. I know a lot of new people looking at Goldspot. Do you want to kind of chat about how you guys work with at least some projects? And I'm assuming Granite Creek is one of them.
Yeah, Granite Creek is one of them. So Goldspot, well, I think I mentioned it a bit in the last interview here. We have two ways of being paid. One is really straight cash that companies like Yamana, Vale pay us for services. The other one is through investment. So instead of being paid in cash for our services, we get paid in shares. That way, we're able to experience the upside of discoveries that we make for this client. Same thing with Le Corsi as an example here, where if the Stellmine team is able to hit on one of our target, we're able to benefit greatly from it. We've seen this from Newfound Gold, where we invested early on in the project and were able to experience tremendous upsides with the drilling they made with our target. So the same ideas went with Granite Creek, where we were able to participate in their private placement, and then we're able to offer services in exchange of shares for it.
Yeah, awesome. We were getting some questions too. I know you say one and two. Is there ever a mix between cash and stock?
Yes, it really depends. The scale is sliding depending on how much a company can afford their services. Sometimes we're able to buy royalties on top of it. So we offer services. We also pay cash for our royalties. And then the company, we're able to benefit also on the share side, also the royalty side, and our services are then delivered to the client. But it's really a sliding scale on how much we invest, how much we get paid for it.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, look, a good overview. Anything else about, I guess, Granite Creek we wanted to chat about?
Yeah, Granite Creek, it's an early project. We're starting with them. We just started here, so cannot disclose too much on what is behind the scene, unfortunately. But you'll see definitely press release or more information later on in the year on what we've done and what we've been developing.
Awesome. Well, Vincent, thanks so much for joining. I think this was a great video, good little update. Got a little deep on some cool stuff, some technical things as well. So thanks for that. Last chance, anything you want to say before we close things up?
Well, I would say the same approach is also applied throughout our clients. So it's really goes from data management side, collecting new information, to target generation. So in some cases, we're able to increase the amount of data they have by over 50 to 100% more information just by using OCR techniques, NLP, to extract information from old PDFs, and then this can be added towards our targeting.
Yeah. We get questions here. Maybe a good way to end it here. We get questions about patents. Curious, anything you can talk about in that regard?
Well, Goldspot doesn't have any patents. We do have all our intellectual properties. The thing with patents in the AI space, as soon as you put a patent out, you need to disclose what you've done. Other people can copy your code and use it elsewhere. So everything is really internal. We have strict policies of security, data security for all our employees and clients. That way, we always keep our intellectual property internally.
Yeah, awesome. Look, I think that's a fantastic answer. And you literally said why in a sentence, which is fantastic. So, Vincent, thanks so much for joining. Have a great long weekend. Obviously, just doing this before Easter. Thanks for hopping on, and have a good weekend.